Good morning, guys. Today is February 21st, and welcome back after a long weekend. So what I'm watching today is a lot of gappers today, pre-market. Some with news, some just gapping for no reason. So I just kind of picked three that I think has the most potential for today, and that I think can potentially run at the market open. So the first one we got is IDXG. IDXG does have a habit of making runs. In the past, it has gone from, for example, this day went from 362 all the way up to 12. And then, even this day went from 491 all the way up to 1425. So does have huge potential to run. It is very low on RSI, 42, close to being oversold. We just need volume. We need a lot of volume for this stock to move. Well, not a lot. I mean, in this day, we only had about 7 million shares. Went from, what was it? From 362 all the way up to 12. That's a huge move for a stock. Now, this does have a very low float, 1.57 million. So that is one of the reasons that it doesn't need a lot of volume. But it does need volume, close to 5-6 million for it to make major moves like that. Now, it does have a news out. It entered into a collaborative agreement. So, it's something that is as a positive news people will look at because, it has the keyword of agreement. So that means that they got into some sort of a collab to do a drug, I believe it is. It's some sort of a drug that they want to collab with. We got a good ATR on it, which is the average true range of 50 cents. Pre-market high is 347. So what am I watching on this? Now, it is above its moving average. Right now it is below its 200 moving average, but let's say where it opens. If it opens above its 200 moving average, and then a potential run up to 347, which is the pre-market high. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking to get in for the break of 350. A break of 350 opens a room up all the way up to 4, with basically a gap to cover. So that's what I'm looking for. A break of 4, we have a potential run up to 450, and then break of that we get a high here at 486. So it does have a lot of room to run. We just need to see how it opens and what it does. Right now, pre-market, it is looking a bit weak. So it's something that we'll just keep in mind, and then once the market opens and once it starts moving up, then we'll look to get in on the break of 350. Second trade we got is APOP. Go over this here. APOP now does have another one, that has a potential. This one, 405 to 878. Here 356 to 571. Here I think went from 512 to 675. So it does have a potential of making close to a point or over 50-cent moves. Especially when the stock has news or a lot of traders looking at it. So this one has a float of 3.14 million. It has a positive clinical trial results. That means they came up with some results and they're positive, so people feel good about the company. People feel like whatever they're working on is improving or showing results. So could bring in a lot of traders, could bring in a lot of people that want to buy this stock. So that's what we're looking for. Now again, with this same high, has a high of 750, so a half dollar point. Break of that could potentially bring in lots of volume. So we want to see a good break off 750 with a lot of volume, and then a potential run up to 8. Break of 750, potential run up to 8, a break of 8, we have a clear way up to 877, which was or 878, which was the last resistance. So it does have room to run, but again, we have to be careful. With this, I can go in with smaller position, so have to make sure that once I get in, it does have room to run, and it can spike as soon as I get in, basically. EYEG is another one. It is running pre-market now, so it broke that 250 pre-market, which I was waiting for. Would have loved to see it break 250 once the market open. Now I feel like it will probably get stuffed right at the market open. I feel like it'll probably be a bit overcrowded. It does have a high RSI, that means it is overbought. Now it does have a float of 4.19 million. They entered into a licensing agreement. It does have potential, but as I said, it's high on RSI. It already broke 250 pre-market. If it doesn't run, or if it doesn't hold that break, we could potentially see a drop of it, as it does in previously. It gaps up and then it ends up closing red on the day. So we just have to remember that this stock might not have as much potential to run, but I'm just keeping on watch. I mean, if it does hold this 250 break and it can go below it, we could potentially see a pop up to 3. So that's what I'm watching on that. MOSY, a previous runner, just kind of keeping it on the side track here, or side burner here. Nothing really interesting on that one. There's no news or anything out on it, so I'm just waiting to see if it'll have continuation, just to kind of keep an eye on it. So not really going to be looking to trade it. So anyways, we'll be back in about a minute as soon as the market opens, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so APOP just popped over 750. Now it does have potential here. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. Like I said, I don't want to just jump in on the first candle here. We want to see some sort of a the spread is a little there's high spreads right now, so I'm just kind of watching it. I'm not looking to trade it right now. Although it popped over 750, as you guys can see, it just made a lower low. So again, it could be a little bit stuffed with a lot of buyers, or a lot of sellers, sorry. People who bought earlier in pre-market are looking to sell now. So again, I'm just keeping an eye on things here, making sure that XG. So IDXG is not doing much anyways right now. Okay, so APOP is dropping, so we're just gonna stay away from that right now. Let's look at EYEG. EYEG. It opened at 250, so we'll look to see if it pops over 250 here. But where would my exit will be? My exit could be potentially below 240, 242. So yeah, potentially below 240. So the high of this is 246. Oops. That's kind of late. I wanted to get in for the break of 251, but it just popped over. Now it does have a pre-market of 269, so we'll wait to see if it can get above that. It is looking weak. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't get filled there, or I didn't jump in right away. It could be a little. See this red candle. It's kind of a big pull back, and I don't really like that. So we're just keeping an eye on it. I'll see what plays set up, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, still no trade so far. I'm not seeing anything that I feel like has potential right now. IDXG, I'm still watching it. I was kind of watching this, maybe looking for a 5-minute setup here. I figured, it was kind of making higher lows here. I figure if you get a 5-minute new candle to make a new high, we could see either people who shorted start covering, or new buyers start coming in. you know, a potential break of 330 would definitely bring in buyers, and people, you know, will start covering. And then we could see a potential run up to 347, a break of that again, you know, break of 350. We could see a potential run up to 4. Now obviously right now it's dropping, so we're glad you know, we didn't jump into anything right away, waiting for a, you know, a good setup, whether here or some other trade, and then I'll look to make a trade, because I don't want to just, you know, this week we only have 4 days to trade, and I want to take full advantage of it. Plus I'm not in school this week, you know, I have a reading week, it's like a week off from school, so I'm just going to be focused on trading. So I just want to make sure that whenever I make a trade, I don't have to rush into, you know, making trade in the first half an hour or the first 30 minutes or, you know, an hour. I can just wait for a good setup to show up, and then once it does, you know, if I'm there, when, you know, if I catch it at the right time, you know, I can move in. If not, then that's fine. I'll patiently wait for something else to pop up. So yeah, we'll just I'll keep you guys here. I'll bring you back once, you know, maybe I see something that I want to jump into, or if not, then, you know, maybe we just won't have any trades today. That's completely fine. Maybe we just won't see anything move the way we want to see, and we won't get into anything. So just remember, you know, staying cash, staying you know, out of all the trades is also a position. So and I'm okay to take that position. You know, I'm learning to be more comfortable taking that position, because when I'm not in a trade, I know I'm not risking anything. If I'm not risking anything, I have, you know, money available for better opportunities, right? So we'll come back, see if something happens. So guys, EYEG kind of did a very nice U-shape breakout. So, you know, kind of went all the way down and then popped all the way back up, went green on the day. I was looking to get in again, you know, on the break of 269 was my first goal, was to get in around the break of that. But on this chart, on the 1 minute, when it popped up and it pulled back, I wanted to get in on the break of 258. I just kind of hesitated just because it already went red on the day, and I just felt like, you know, it had this little pop, but there's still resistance at 269. So, you know, if it can't get over that, it's probably most likely just gonna go back red on the day. So I was just kind of like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with it, and I didn't take the trade. But as we can see, you know, went over that 258 and then went all the way up to 282, and now it's pulling back. So obviously it wasn't a bad entry getting in at 258 on this pullback here, on this 1 minute pullback, but the better entry was maybe, you know, on this 5 minute setup here, the first 5 minutes to make a new high on this pullback, you know, get in there. But the only thing was your risk reward wasn't as good there. So it just, you know, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade here anyways, just because, you know, it already went red on the day, and I, you know, even if it popped up a little bit, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with it. So, you know, better trade would obviously on this little pullback for this thing, but I just didn't feel comfortable getting in, you know, so close to the pre-market resistance. So we'll see what happens here. I'll be watching it. Potential play, I feel like, you know, it could run back up to 3, potential break of 3. We could see a you know, a clear run up to maybe 3, you know, 320s, 350s. So we'll see what happens here. Alright guys, I'm still watching EYEG. You know, got up to 282 there, pulled back, made a new high at 286. The only reason I'm not in right now is I'm waiting for a better 5 minute setup. With a, you know, I was waiting for a 5 minute setup with a good risk reward. So what I was waiting for is when, you know, pulled back, I was waiting for this candle to, you know, pull back a little, stay around this, you know, under 260, and then I wanted to get in on the next candle to make a new high over 260, because, you know, this candle opened at 257. So yeah, I wanted to stay below 260, pull back maybe, you know, to the VWAP, and then test that area, see if the VWAP holds. If that holds, I wanted to get in on the next candle above 260 for a push towards the high of day. But what happened was this candle right here started pushing. It did make a new high, you know, the previous high was 279, it makes, you know, the high of 280, let's say, and then gets over 286, so breaks the high of day. The only thing is, as you guys can see, it got pushed all the way back down to 260s. So now the setup, I don't like the setup now, because I feel like it needs a more pullback for it to run. What I wanted to see, this little move here from 260s to 280s, I wanted to see it on the next candle after it holds this VWAP level. You know, pulls back to the 9 EMA, holds that, and then makes a new high, and I wanted to jump in for that. For it look towards my first target would have been high of day, so getting from 260, first target 280, and then a break of that. So so I'm not liking it right now. I didn't like the setup. You know, it's something that didn't make sense to me, so I stayed away. And we'll just be watching and see if something else pops up. Just to show you guys, APOP did something similar to EYEG. You know, went red on the day, hung around that area, and then once it went back green, had a nice spike up to 250s, or you know, 250 or 750, sorry, up to 750s. I saw it as it popped over to 710, and it went green on the day. But by the time I pulled it up, it was at 714, 715. And I just wanted to see if it will be a fake out, something similar to what happened on this candle. You know, got over 710, went up to, I believe it was 714. So same thing, it was hanging around the same area, 714. And I was just kind of like, oh, I would like to see what happens here. I don't want to just jump in. And then it quickly popped over to 730s. 720s, then went up to 750. So again, with this, I can only get in 200 shares, so I need this stock to move at least 50 cents to a point in order for me to make, you know, good money back. So that's what I'm just kind of hesitant on this stock. I mean, it definitely does have potential, as you guys can see, but with the high spread as well, I'm kind of scared. Now the spreads are pretty tight, 740, 741, but again, 740 to 747. So it's getting a little choppy, and I'm just kind of don't know if I want to move in on this. Maybe a break of 777 could potentially bring in some volume, but we'll see what happens. Alright guys, so with APLP, just made a higher high at 768. It's still below its day high of 777 though. But as you guys can see, how choppy it is in this area. You know, goes from 720 all the way up to 760, drops back to 720, goes up to 768, drops back. So again, the reason I'm not interested is just because I feel like it's very, A, it's choppy, B, the spreads are kind of scaring me. It could just drop big. And then if you look at on the 5 minute, how long these shadows are, that means that every time it goes up, it's getting pushed down. So that means a lot of sellers are selling, or people are shorting this. So it's just gonna stop it from actually going up. I mean, if these candles were closing their high, then there's potential that it'll continue. But with these pushbacks, I'm just kind of like, I don't feel comfortable taking this trade. Even right now, I don't know where I would get in, where I would put my stop, where the proper exit would be. I mean, I could put my stop at 720, but it could take it out in seconds, right? It could just quickly drop below that and then go red on the day again. So that's why I'm just kind of watching it. I'm staying on the sideline, not gonna rush anything here. Look at this, guys. This is what I was talking about earlier. How choppy it's being is it dropped from there from 7 as it was hanging around in the 730 area, drops down to 720. As soon as that breaks, it opens at 701. The next candle, just look at this little gap here in the 1 minute candle. And I mean, if you got in at 720, even if I had my stop at let's say 719, and it broke, I would have got a slippage. I would have got out at 701. So I'm very happy that I did not take this trade. Although it was moving up, I just did not feel comfortable. I mean, I didn't get the right setup I wanted. If I would have got in at the 710 level and sold in the 760s, I would have got about 50 cents on the 200 shares. But again, it was very fast. I would have had to, had my order ready to sell at 760s. I don't think it would have worked. I don't think it would have been a comfortable trade for me, and I'm very glad I stayed away because of this reason. So you know, we'll continue watching and see what happens. Alright guys, I just got in EYEG at 271 for the 15-minute setup. First candle make a new high, and obviously the goal is to test high of day 286 and potentially break it. If you do get over that, we could see a potential run to 3. That's the goal here, to see if we can get to 3 today. Now my stop is at 260, and I'm looking to basically sell 400 shares. Wait. Oh shit, what did I just do? I made a mistake. I just sold 200 at 266. That's not what I was planning to do. I'm just gonna cancel this. I'm gonna get out of this trade here. I don't know. I messed up. I got in at 271. Obviously, my goal was to sell at 280. Obviously, to look for that break of 286. But I was trying to put a stop. I mistakenly put a stop for 200 shares instead of 400 at 260, and I was trying to put a stop for the other 200 at 260 as well. But then I mistakenly forgot that I was on the limit, and I ended up selling at 260, 266, and 265. I don't know why I just did that. Obviously, my stop was going to be below 260. For the push towards 286, but ended up messing up there. So I don't know what, about $21 loss for no apparent reason, to be honest. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens now. I don't want to jump into it again, just because the first time it just didn't go how I wanted it to, and also when I jumped in at 271, I wanted to see a quick push closer to 280, but we weren't really getting that. We just kept we came below 270 again, and I just didn't. So it's okay. It's okay that I actually ended up selling with a smaller loss. I mean, it could go below 260 again here. So we'll see what happens. So guys, in hindsight, I think it was good that I made that little error, at around that 266, 265 area, because I would have ended up stopping out at 260 over on this candle here. The setup, what I was looking for is when I got in at 271, I was looking for a quick push, near the 280 mark, and then the next candle to break the high of day, and then a quick push towards 3. Getting over 286, 3 would obviously be the whole dollar mark, and it would be a strong magnet pulling the stock towards it. But it's okay. We didn't get that, and although I had a little mistake, I wanted to put a stop order rather than a sell order at 260. At 260, I pressed that to sell, but it ended up taking me out at market, which was around 266 at that time. And then I figured I only have 200 shares outstanding. I'm just gonna sell the rest and move away from this trade. Because also when the stock didn't stay above 270, in this, it couldn't stay above 270 when 270 was a high resistance. It could have acted as support on the way down, and if it did, if a lot of big buyers came in at 270, we could have seen that act as support and then get a push towards 280. But that didn't end up happening, so I just ended up taking my whole position out with a small loss, about $30 after fees and stuff. So nothing too major today. We didn't get the plays we wanted. So APOP, was another one. Again, remember we stayed away from APOP in the 730s here, because although there was resistance or support at 720, I was afraid of this, and exactly what happened. So I'm glad I stayed away from APOP. It was a good play on the break of 710, red to green move, sorry. But again, at that time when I saw it around 714, I was just kind of scared because let's go to the 5-minute here and I'll show you guys. I was a little scared because you know, previously it got up to 714 and then it got pushed back down. So I was like, oh, you know, although it went green on the day again, it could just run into that resistance again and go back red. So I just didn't jump in, and then it started popping up, and I wasn't trying to chase in the 730s and 740s. Again, because I only was gonna be able to buy 200 shares, and I didn't want to chase there because, you know, 20 cents on 200 shares is just not worth the reward. The risk is just not worth the reward, is what I'm trying to say. So we stayed away from that. IDXG was top watch for today, but it just has done nothing but downtrended, so no play there. EYEG was a great entry on the U break, or the U-shaped breakout. It was a great play over here. You know, looking to get in even on this first 5 minute to make a new high at 220s. You know, just below 230s. Getting in there would have been a good ideal entry, but the risk, you know, I wouldn't know where I have to put my stop, just because, you know, this candle was, the low was 213, so it's about 20 cents of risk that I would be, you know, putting there. So didn't feel comfortable with it, and then it just started moving back up. So sorry, just I saw FATE pop up here. It just made basically a 52 day new high at over 425, and it just quickly popped over to 450. Again, nothing crazy, just got over 450, which is good. Nope, it's running now, getting lots of volume here. But my concern is, I don't know if I want to chase up in the 450s here. Could potentially run here, but does have a high RSI there. Potentially run up to 5 here. There's some resistance at 467. Again, not really sure what this stock would do, although a lot of volume came in, but this little parabolic move just straight up from 420 to 458. Need some sort of a pullback, maybe a potential pullback down to 430s, 435s, and then I would look to get in. But for now, I'm gonna end this video. Only had one trade at EYEG. You know, looking for the break of high of day, but didn't work out as I thought it will, and ended up selling. Well, the first 200 was a mistake, but the second 200 I just decided to get out. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll come back tomorrow in the morning. Hopefully we'll have some more momentum in the morning, and we'll be able to take advantage of some of the morning momentum and trade it. So for now, adios. I don't know why I just said that. For now, have a good day. I will catch you guys tomorrow.